Today I'm going to show which material I use when I go bikepacking. Some of it I've bought 5 years ago, some of it I've bought this year. It's kind of been a mission for me to find the best material that suits me, and I hope this can be useful to anyone who would like to go biking for an hour, for a day, or for a week or more. And this is obviously a list that's tailored to me. It might not suit everyone, but it's a good starting point to see what other people are using and to see kit lists by other people. So this is what I take with me. If I'm going out for a 1 hour bike ride, some water, my helmet. If it's potentially raining, a rain jacket, otherwise I don't take it. My wallet, my keys, and my phone. A snack bar. This one is already eaten, but just some fuel. A mask in case there's some ice cream. And then in terms of clothing, I generally wear a sports bra, but for an hour I don't really bother with bike shorts or any kind of stuff because it's just for an hour. Sunglasses, very important. If I'm going out for a day, I take all of these things plus a few extra other things. I definitely start by wearing bike shorts because these really help with the padding and they're just way more comfortable. And at first I was really uncomfortable wearing them because I felt just a bit weird about it and I felt like I was a bit of an imposter and I didn't know what I was doing. I don't wear any underwear under these because the underwear bunches up and chafes and creates more pain. I can't recommend them enough, even for a beginner. Padding really helps. And then in terms of tops, I generally go with this merino wool long sleeved shirt just because it protects me from the sun and that way this kind of stuff doesn't happen. But then if I'm not carrying a lot, then I'll also take this bike jersey because it's got these really handy pockets on the back of it. If I'm taking more stuff with me, then I take the only package option which I like, which is the Ortlieb pannier. I think this is a little bit excessive actually because it's never full, it's a lot of weight, but I really hate wearing a backpack when I'm cycling because my back gets sweaty and my shoulders tense up and I like to be backpackless. So that's the only option I have for the moment and it works for me. And in the future I'd like to look into one of those like saddle bags that goes under the saddle. I also wear hand gloves. I find these super useful so that my hands don't slip on my handlebars. And then I also take a buff just in case it gets a little bit colder and I need to cover my neck. I also take all of this stuff with me in case I have a puncture or there's anything that needs mending. So I have a bike pump, a multi-tool, these handy things that open up the tire in case I need to work on my inner tire, and then a bike repair kit. And then I also take a little bit of sun cream so that I can protect my skin. Snacks, tiffin. If I'm going out for a week, I take all of these things plus a few extra other things. One thing to keep in mind is that for me, bikepacking or bike touring is something that I do in my spare time because I really love it. And so this is why some of the material here isn't going to be like top notch, best on the market, lightest, fastest, smallest. I look at other videos and I'm like, I want all this kit, all this amazing kit. This is the kit that I have that I use now in order to be able to make things work for me to go out and have a good time. Because at the end of the day, I also think that it's more important for people who are starting out with biking to feel confident enough to go outside and actually do it without having to shell out $1,000. Even if you go out with a sleeping bag this big, it doesn't matter because you're outside and you're doing it. There's a few things that I need for nights as well as days. Depending on where I go and depending how much access to water there'll be, I generally try to take a little bit more water than the 1 liter that I have on my bike. So this is a collapsible water bottle. I have found it useful. I think I am a little bit paranoid about water and I could probably go without it. For me, I would rather carry 1 liter of water and not use it than not have that extra water in case I need it. I do take my chamois cream with me when I go for a week. Ideally I would have a tube rather than a tub. I also take a bungee cord with me. It's just super practical for tying my tent or tying anything to my bike rack. Take my phone charger to charge my phone, a spork, stove thingamabob to provide fire for my pan. I also take a headlamp with me for the evening. This I generally fill with dishwasher liquid so I can wash things. This is my under saddle bag where I store my phone, my wallet, my keys, anything that I need quick access for. This is my little towel that I can roll up and doesn't take any space, but when I need to have a shower, this is what I use. I always take bike oil with me just in case. It isn't on here, but I also have electrolyte. Whenever I arrive in a town, it's kind of nice to get out of cycling shorts and stuff, so I have this easy dress that I put on and I can wear this without a bra, and it's just really great to have this floaty material and to not feel constricted and sweaty, dirty clothes. I also take a book with me just in case, because I don't want to spend all of my time on my phone or with other people. Sometimes I need a break. And then I also take a pajama with me for the night, and then one pair of knickers for the dress, and then a pair of socks for the night when my feet get cold. In terms of toiletries, a toothbrush. I also take paracetamol, toothpaste, a bar of soap that I use for my hair and my body, blister patches and band-aids, tissues just in case. Very important. Deodorant. A few things I forgot to include on my list of things I take. A knife. For the moment I just use one of these. A pair of flip-flops. They're very useful when you're camping. If you're arriving somewhere and you're going to walk around, then it's a lot more comfortable to be in flip-flops than in the sweaty, hot, possibly wet shoes that I've been in all day. It's also just practical if you need to go to the toilet during the night. I also generally take a spare inner tube just in case I really need to replace it. And then I also tend to take paper maps with me just in case. Specific cycling one for Switzerland with all the cycle routes, and I also, you know, have other paper maps which are just more road maps, just in case, you know, I get completely lost, there's no one around, my smartphone has no battery, all of these things, all of these factors which might change and impact my navigation. Fuel, like cereal bars, sweets, of course, food, bike lights. And one more thing I take, but I don't have it here, is a gas canister to make food. In terms of sleeping options, this is the tent I use. It's the Van Gogh Banshee Pro 200. It's massive. This is the one I had, and it's practical, and I can just plop it on my bike rack. It's a two-man tent so that there's enough space for my body and for my panniers. I think unless I really start seriously considering going for like several months, this is perfectly fine for me right now. This is my sleeping mat, which is the Thermarest Pro Light Plus, and it's the one for women. It's really practical. And then in terms of sleeping bag, this is the monster I use. I don't even know where this came from. It doesn't really matter. It's massive. It's like so big. It takes up so much space. It's probably quite heavy, but it's the one I have, so it's the one I use. And at some point I'll buy a better one, but right now it's perfectly fine. That's kind of like all the materials that I use. Some of them I'm really happy with, some of them I'd like to change, but it's not urgent. I guess that is my whole attitude to bike packing, is that I'm just gonna use whatever I have, because I just want to spend time outside and be in the sun and enjoy the bike ride. And if it means it's a little bit heavier, then it's a little bit heavier, but at least I'm still experiencing the world and meeting people and doing sports and being outside and seeing beautiful landscapes, and that's really what I'm interested in.